The kitten, barely bigger than a teacup, huddled in the tangled roots of the oak tree, his emerald eyes reflecting the setting sun. He was a tiny warrior, fighting not just for survival but against an invisible enemy, an infection that had ravaged his delicate vision. He was one of the abandoned litter, born into the harsh world of the streets. His mother a stray who had once known the comfort of a home, only to be cast out by the very hands that had once petted her fur. My heart ached as I scrolled through the post online. The picture was blurry, but I could see the tiny kitten, his eyes clouded and swollen, his body thin and trembling. He looked so lost, so vulnerable. I had been dreaming of him for days, the image of his suffering etched into my mind, a persistent echo of his plight. I contacted the number provided, my voice shaking as I inquired about the kitten. The woman on the other end, her voice weathered and frail, told me she had taken him in, but she was elderly, her eyesight failing, and she couldn't afford the vet. She was doing her best, she said, but she didn't know how much longer she could keep him. My heart pounded. I knew I had to help. The next morning, I drove to her address, a small, faded house tucked away on a quiet street. The moment I saw him, I knew this was no ordinary rescue. His eyes, normally bright emerald, were now milky white, swollen shut, his tiny body riddled with fleas. He was a picture of despair, yet there was a flicker of life, a spark of resilience in his eyes. The woman, her face etched with worry, handed him to me. "He's a good boy," she whispered, her voice catching. "He just needs someone to care for him." I took him to the vet, my anxiety rising with each passing minute. The vet, a kind woman with gentle hands, examined him, her face grim. The infection was severe, she said, but not hopeless. We began a grueling regimen of antibiotics, eye drops, and washes. He was a fighter, but his spirit seemed to ebb with each passing day. He was so young, so small, and his little body was ravaged by his illness. The days blurred into a blur of medication, cleanings, and endless worry. I watched him, his eyes sometimes open a sliver, catching glimpses of the world around him, his tail flicking weakly as I stroked his fur. He was fighting, but the battle seemed relentless. After weeks, a miracle began to unfold. His eyes, slowly, painstakingly, started to clear. His emerald eyes, once clouded and milky, began to gleam with a newfound clarity. He started to purr, a deep, rumbling sound that filled my heart with joy. He was getting better, slowly but surely. It was a long road to recovery. We fought off the fleas, battling them with special shampoos, and even then, they seemed to cling stubbornly to his fur. But with each passing day, his spirit grew stronger, his purr louder, his emerald eyes brighter. The kitten, once a fragile warrior, was finally winning his battle. He was named Emerald, a tribute to his beautiful eyes.